Good morning, and welcome to the 20th Annual Support the Troops and Honor the Veterans Member Breakfast Meeting. I would like to begin by thanking Vin Capice and the entire team at Middlesex Health for their support of this event this morning and for their outstanding work in our community, especially during this very challenging past year and a half. We will hear from Vin a little later on in our program. I also want to thank our Support the Troops Committee, led by its chairman, Colonel Phil Cacciola, for working so hard to execute this important event on an annual basis. It is indeed my pleasure to serve as staff liaison of this important chamber committee, and you will hear from Colonel Phil a little later on in our program as well. As you know, every November we gather to support our active duty troops and Guard personnel and to honor the veterans that have served us so well for so long. This year, we are virtual once again, but that is not going to prevent us from achieving our annual goal of supporting our troops and honoring our veterans. We have done our best once again to put together a great program for you this morning. You will hear from leaders of our chamber and leaders from the highest levels of business, government, and military service in our state. You will hear from local veterans who have dedicated their lives to service to country and community. And you will see the presentation of 2 prestigious awards to 2 deserving recipients. So let's get to it. It is now my pleasure to introduce a distinguished local veteran, a member of our committee, and a member of a variety of local veterans organizations. I give you Larry Riley.
Good morning. The American flag has been placed. The service flags are posted. It's now time to go on to our Pledge of Allegiance. Please prepare for the pledge. Please stand, place your right hand over your heart, and recite the pledge with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please remain standing while we have the singing of the national anthem. The national anthem will be sung this year by 2 Carcachog Regional High School students. Ellie Castiglia and Ava Delfano. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, give proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much, Larry, for reciting the pledge and for your wonderful service. And thank you, Ellie and Ava, for that beautiful rendition of our national anthem. It is now my pleasure to introduce the chairwoman of the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce, who is doing a great job for us in this important leadership role. Please welcome Maureen Westbrook.
Thanks, Jeff, and good morning, everyone, and welcome. It's my honor to be chair of the Middlesex Chamber, which is such a strong organization dedicated to serving our members and our communities. Thank you so much to Jeff, Larry, and Johanna, and the entire team for all you do to serve our members and make things better for Middlesex County and the state of Connecticut. Thank you to the Middlesex Health for sponsoring this and for your ongoing support of all things for the Chamber. I'm so proud to be part of this 20th annual Support the Troops and Honor the Veterans Member Breakfast. This is one of my favorite events of the Chamber, and it gives us all the opportunity to recognize and thank our veterans for their service, sacrifice, and leadership. We're joined at these by so many veterans here in the room here, at the Elks Hall, as well as we're watching remotely. We'd normally be in person and be able to see them all with their uniforms, but we look forward to an opportunity at some point to do that again. It's always inspiring and humbling to recognize the Gold and Blue Star families, POWs, MIAs, the distinguished recipient of the William J. Pomfret Veteran Community Service Award and the AT&T Veterans Support the Chamber of the Year Award. I look forward to all of that this morning. And before we start, I want to thank and welcome the public officials attending here. From Middletown, we have Mayor Ben Florsheim, Councilman Vin Lafredo, and Councilman Phil Pacina. And also we have Wesleyan University's President Michael Roth. Thank you all for being here and for your commitment to the business and success of Middlesex County. And now I'm honored to introduce Phil Cacciola, who's the chair of the Chamber's Support the Troops Committee, and pull all this together.
Thank you, Maureen. Welcome and good morning, and welcome Colonel Cassidy and distinguished guests to our 20th annual Support the Troops virtual breakfast. I'm Phil Cacciola, chairman of the Support the Troops Committee, and also to Middlesex Health for their continuing sponsorship of this event. Thank you for tuning in. Also, thank you, Larry Mchugh, and your staff again for your support of all military personnel worldwide, and thanks to the committee that put this event together, especially Jeff Pugliese, Vice President. Please remember Gold Star families who have lost a family member in a conflict, and Blue Star families who have had a family member serving on active duty. Next April 2022, the Woody Williams Foundation Connecticut Gold Star Families Memorial Monument will be dedicated in Berlin, Connecticut. The monument honors, recognizes, and serves Gold Star families and the legacy of their loved ones who have paid the ultimate sacrifice while serving in the armed forces of the United States. This will be the only one in Connecticut. Now I'd like to recognize local veterans groups. These are veterans groups that are active in this community. The Association of the United States Army, AUSA, the American Legion, Middletown Post 75 and 206, and Portland Post 69. VFW, Middletown Post 583, and Portland Post 6121. Catholic War Veterans, St. Mary's Post 1166, the Jewish War Veterans, Post 51. The Marine Corps League, Department of Connecticut, Veterans of the Vietnam War, Vietnam Vets of America. ESGR, the Employee Support of the Guard and Reserve. The Greater Middletown Military Museum. The Disabled American Veterans Chapter 7, and the Middlesex Community College OASIS program. The Wesleyan University Posse, special thanks to President Michael Roth for his support of veterans. U.S. Senior Vets, the State of Connecticut Military Department, the Special Guerrilla Unit, SGU, which is part of the Laotian Army, the Middletown Elk 771 Veterans Kayaking Program, the Middletown Recruiting Station, the Connecticut Department of Veterans Affairs, and the Connecticut Patriot Riders. Please note, in front of the podium, the table has been set as a place of honor for our missing service members, regardless of branch or service. Never forget our POW MIAs. They are presently over 82,000 servicemen and women still missing. And also, please note the Space Force banner to my right, the newest branch of the military. As you are aware, Armistice Day, Veterans Day, is Thursday, November 11th. Middletown will hold a ceremony on Vets Memorial Green on Washington Street at 11 a.m. on that day. There also will be a ceremony at the State of Connecticut Veterans Cemetery on Bow Lane at 2 o'clock. And the Commissioner of the Department of Veterans Affairs will be our main speaker. At this point, we will show a brief video of the Greater Middletown Museum and Trees of Honor.
Hello, welcome to the Middletown Military Museum. I'm Ken McClellan. I'm the president and curator of the museum. And welcome. This museum started about 20 years ago with an idea from a number of veterans from Middletown and around the area that they wanted to preserve the memories and stories and artifacts of military service. Well, with a lot of work by a lot of people, and many years later, here we are in this beautiful building with donations of uniforms, memorabilia, weapons, books, posters that we've been able to collect and put on display for you. We can start our displays over here with the early colonial period, the 1800s. As we go around, we've got, again, weapons, equipment, replicas of some, real articles on the other, documents. And we've got, like I said, we've got a lot of artifacts and documents from various periods, World War I, World War II, uniforms, helmets, equipment, some souvenirs. Moving along, we've got Vietnam. Number of pictures that were taken by one of our members, Jerry Augustine, while he was in Vietnam. And around in Iraq and Afghanistan, where we've got the replacement for the sea rations, we've got MREs, some safe passage documents that were picked up in Fallujah. We got our library, which is fairly extensive. We've got a lot of commercial publications. We have journals, diaries, letters, scrapbooks, and going along with the stories, we've got books on military service. This will help if you're trying to research genealogy. If you've got ancestors or relatives that served in the military, we can help you find out about their service. So please come down and visit us. We'd love to have you and show you around. Thank you.
Great job, Jeff, on that. Very important part of our military in Middletown now. Before I introduce Jerry Augustine, last year's recipient of the William Pomfret Community Service Award, I'd like to recognize previous recipients. CJ Larry Marino, Bob Wamister, Jack Monahan, Phil Cachola, Arthur Lerner, Rich Anderson, Ron Organic, John Krasnitsky, Peter Galgano, Bill Curlin, Jerry Lamarck, Norman Hannenbaum, Mike Rogalski, Larry Riley, Tom Goglia, Morty Pear, Reggie Farrington, and of course, Jerry Augustine. Our goal is to make the city of Middletown the military center of the state of Connecticut. We presently host the Connecticut Veteran Cemetery, the Trees of Honor Memorial, the Greater Middletown Military Museum, and the Major General Maurice Rose Army Reserve Center, to name a few. The William J. Pomfret Community Service Award is presented annually to a veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces in recognition of his or her distinguished service to the citizens of Connecticut and selfless commitment to public service. Last year's recipient, Jerry Augustine, will present this year's award to William Skip Petrus.
Thank you, Phil. Initially, I would like to thank my peers for presenting me this award last year. The 2021 recipient is William F. Skip Petrus III of Portland, Connecticut. William Skip Petrus is a resident of Portland who grew up in Middletown, Connecticut. He graduated from Vinyl Technical High School in 1978. Before graduation in May of 1978, Skip enlisted in the United States Navy under the Delayed Entry Program and began his formal training in October of that year. Skip is a proud veteran of the United States Navy, the United States Navy Reserves, and the Connecticut Army National Guard, having served from 1978 to 1988 collectively. On the community side, in addition to his extensive volunteer work with the Portland Fire Department, Skip is very active with veteran organizations and programs. Skip is a member of the Portland Veterans Committee serving the veterans of the town of Portland and surrounding towns. He is an active member of the Patriot Guard Riders of Connecticut and has been assistant state captain for the organization since 2016. The Connecticut Patriot Guard Riders are an all-volunteer group who, at the request of the family, provides flag lines and escorts for funeral services of veterans and first responders and other community events as requested. A strong advocate for Veterans Affairs, Skip maintains membership and is active in the VFW and American Legion in Portland. He plays a key role in planning and executing Portland's American Legion Veterans Day breakfast. As the Patriot Guard Riders of Connecticut Assistant State Captain, he regularly attends meetings for the State Veterans Commissioners and Veterans Leadership Committee for Veteran Service Organizations, VSO, at the Office of the Commissioner of Veterans Affairs in Rocky Hill. He is also primarily responsible for writing, posting, and coordinating, researching those honored, and ensuring that they are placed on the appropriate online memorials. Skip has dedicated his life to serving our country and the community, both in the military and as a civilian. He continues to selflessly give his all to both veterans and the community at large. For these reasons and many more, the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce is proud to present the 2021 William J. Pomfret Veterans Community Service Award to William F. Skip Petrus III. Thank you, Skip, for everything you do.
Thank you, Jerry.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you to all of my brother and sister veterans, the Chamber, the organizations that I belong to. Without volunteerism, a lot of things wouldn't happen. Everyone is looking for volunteers. Veterans are always looking to volunteer. We help each other. We make sure we get each other through the various troubles, the various events. We're there for each other. Being chosen for this award is an honor, and it's my pleasure to be able to assist and serve veterans and community organizations. Thank you.
Thank you, Skip. Thank you, Skip. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much, Skip. Certainly a well-deserved award. This time, I'll turn the program over to Chairman of the Middlesex Chamber of Commerce, Larry Mchugh.
Thank you very much, Phil. And more importantly, thank to Phil, his outstanding committee, my team here at the Chamber led by Jeff Pugliese, who have done a great job. As Skip said, volunteer service is so important. And we have behind me here many veterans that have given their time and energy to our great country and our region, making it a better place to live and work for all. This is today being covered by CTN. This will be in every home in the state of Connecticut. It's on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Plus, we have numerous electronic and print media that have hooked up to our Zoom network. I would be remiss if I also didn't thank Maureen Westbrook for her outstanding service to the Chamber over the past 5 or 6 months. She is an outstanding leader and has been there for us every day as we battle through the COVID situation we're all in. A couple of reminders with some of our events coming up. On Wednesday night, we have our annual awards dinner. I am more than honored and pleased to say that we are expecting about 270 people at that, which is a lot more than we originally thought that we would get. So I'm very honored by that. Also, we have a flu vaccine drive here on the 9th from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock for anyone that would like to get that. That has been done through the city of Middletown and Stop and Shop. Today, we're giving this award out now to our AT&T Veteran Support Champion of the Year. Our first winner of this was AT&T, and they stepped up to the plate afterwards and agreed to sponsor this every year. This is presented to a business or organization that supports active duty military personnel, veterans, and their family through employment, spousal support, and other means. It gives me a great honor to introduce a terrific corporate citizen, AT&T New England President John Emra, who recorded a message for this year's event, which recognizes the winner of this year's event, Eversource. John.
Good morning, Larry and fellow chamber members. It's good to see you all again this morning. I want to start by thanking the chamber for their continued leadership. The chamber plays this really vital role as a convener of the business community, and that perhaps has never been more important than the last 18 plus months of this pandemic. So I just want to say that we value and appreciate the contribution you make to the business community and the wider community. So it is my distinct honor this morning to present the AT&T Veterans Champion Award to Eversource Energy, and in particular to call out the unbelievable work that the company does to hire veterans. So Eversource has some 600 employees who proudly served their country before they came to Eversource. Now, this is no mere accident or coincidence, but rather a byproduct of a concerted effort on Eversource's part to hire veterans. It starts with what's known as the Troops to Energy Jobs program, which helps to match the skills of veterans to job openings inside the company. Now, their efforts to help veterans don't just stop there. They also have a real culture that rewards service and recognizes and fosters and encourages employees to serve as members of the reserves. Now, this morning's award is not the only recognition the company has received. In 2019, it was named as one of 15 companies out of some 2,500 who were nominated nationwide to receive a Defense Employer Support Freedom Award that really recognizes the company's support for veterans and its support for reservists who want to continue to serve their country. So I want to thank Eversource for all it does to help veterans, to hire veterans, and frankly for all it does for our wider economy. You play a really important role in Connecticut's success and future. So thank you for that. And congratulations on a much well-deserved award. Good morning, all.
Accepting the award from Eversource is two of their vice presidents, Robert Coates and Bill Gelinas.
Good morning. My name is Bob Coates. I'm a vice president with Eversource Energy in Connecticut, and I'm also the executive chairperson supporting our veterans issues and efforts in Connecticut. On behalf of Eversource Energy, we are deeply grateful for the recognition from the Middlesex Chamber and AT&T. We are proud to accept this award and honored to support our veterans and their families, both inside and outside our company. Of our 9,000 employees in 3 states, over 600 have served the country in some capacity. The integrity, leadership, sense of teamwork that is reinforced by military training are the same qualities we look for in our workforce. Just as these veterans band together to serve our country in time of need, these veterans join our company, which bands together to serve our customers in their time of need, such as the storm we just restored. Certainly, defending our nation against enemies is a far greater challenge with far greater hazards. But the leadership and teamwork skills needed to muster thousands of workers to restore power are similar in many ways. Eversource has created a welcoming environment for our veterans by creating veterans employee resource groups in each state, which help new veterans and existing veterans assimilate into the civilian workforce. The veteran business resource groups help recruit through job fairs, referrals, leadership activities, and such as adopting 3 naval vessels this year in each state, one for each state, to support with holiday cards and more. We provide our managers and supervisors with the tools to effectively manage employees who serve in the veterans. We provide career advancement for military veterans and reservists that offer opportunity to apply their military training into supervisory level positions. Finally, Eversource has supported our veteran community by assisting with the creation of the Eversource Veterans Association, which is a separate charitable organization led by Bill Jelinas and several other veteran employees to raise funds to support veteran issues and challenges across New England. Please let me introduce Bill to briefly talk about the Eversource Veterans Association.
Good morning. I'm so honored and humbled to be here today, accepting this award with Bob on behalf of Eversource. Again, my name is Bill Jelinas. I'm Operations Center Manager at Eversource, but I'm also a 17-year Air Force reservist out of Westover in Mchugh, Mass. I'm extremely proud of my service, both with the Air Force and with Eversource. We created the ES Veterans Association with the support of the company to become an independent 501c3 organization, focused on supporting veterans' needs throughout New England. The organization is comprised of Eversource employees, many of which are veterans themselves, and we raise funds and support both active duty, retired, and veterans in the region. Personally, Eversource supported me and my family on 4 different active duty deployments. I've deployed 3 times to Iraq and once to Afghanistan. And I can promise you that it's a community effort when a member deploys. It's the family, it's the company, and not having to worry about health insurance and benefits and things of that nature is one less thing you have to worry about for your family when you're deployed. So Eversource comes through hugely when you're called up to active duty. Through the generosity of our employees and business partners, the ES Veterans Association has provided resources to many regional veterans organizations. And over the last 4 years alone, we've donated over $500,000 to different causes throughout the region that support active duty veterans and retired military throughout the region. While these agencies appreciate the support, the need to support our veterans is great. That is why we are so proud to work for Eversource, its customers, and our fellow employees who are actively honoring and supporting our veteran community. We owe a tremendous debt to our guardsmen, reservists, active duty, and veterans, whether it's in a time of war, peace, or crisis. And we will always recognize and support our service members and their families. Again, I want to take the time to thank the Middlesex Chamber of Commerce and AT&T for providing Eversource with this award, and we're extremely honored and humbled to receive it this year on behalf of the region. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. There we go.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for your service. Thank you. Thank you.
Now it gives me a tremendous honor to introduce the sponsor of today's event, Middlesex Health. Middlesex Health is an outstanding provider of critical care in our region, and its performance through COVID-19 pandemic has been outstanding. We are so fortunate to have Middlesex Health as a major employer, economic generator, and a supporter of our veterans. They are a strong corporate citizen in Middlesex County. We're also fortunate to have our friend Vin Capice as CEO of this terrific institution. Vin is an example of a true leader, a community partner, and someone who is always there to help when he is asked. Vin, I personally want to thank you for your longtime sponsorship of this important chamber event, for your longtime support of our chamber, and for your unbelievable leadership in our community. It gives me a tremendous honor to introduce Vin Capice, President and CEO of Middlesex Health.
Thank you, Larry. Good morning, everyone. Middlesex Health is once again proud to sponsor the Middlesex Chamber's Support the Troops and Honor Our Veterans event this morning. We believe it's always important to thank those who have served our country. At Middlesex Health, many of our patients and staff members are either military veterans, active or reserve members of the military. And I'm sure we would all agree that These selfless individuals have made significant personal sacrifices and often have put themselves in harm's way to protect our freedom, and therefore they deserve our respect and gratitude. As I've shared in previous years, Middlesex Health makes an extra effort to recognize and help veterans, and our staff members are particularly knowledgeable about veterans' benefits and service-related illnesses and health conditions. This unique knowledge has enabled us to provide excellent health care to those who have served our country. Middlesex Health cares deeply about our communities, the communities that we serve, which certainly includes our veterans and all of our military personnel. I hope you all know and appreciate that we're here to serve all members of our community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And just as our veterans have often put their lives on the line to protect our country, I can't say enough about Middlesex Health's dedicated team of healthcare professionals who have also risked their lives in many respects, taking care of the sick members of our community over the past several years as we've battled this COVID pandemic. And will continue to be there for those who need us both day and night. Now, without further ado, it's my privilege to introduce this morning's keynote speaker, Colonel Robert Cassidy. Bob is a retired U.S. Colonel, and he's currently the Anderson Fellow in Defense and Foreign Policy at Wesleyan University. He teaches courses on strategy and war and serves as a faculty member to the Posse Scholars. He also advises the Wesleyan Student Veterans Organization. Bob enlisted in the Army in 1981, earning a regular Army commission in 1987 after spending some time in the Rhode Island Army National Guard. During this time in the Army, he served in many ways: as a special assistant to 3 senior generals, as a special commission task force planner, and as an air cavalry troop commander, just to name a few. He served in Grenada, Haiti, and Iraq, and he completed, believe it or not, 4 tours of duty in Afghanistan. For his efforts, Bob has earned awards such as the Legion of Merit and the Bronze Star. His list of accomplishments also includes teaching at West Point and the U.S. Naval War College. He was the first U.S. Army Senior Fellow and the Chief of Naval Operations Strategic Studies Group, and later served as the Senior Army Advisor to the Naval War College President. Bob has advanced degrees in International Security Studies from Boston University, the Fletcher School, and the U.S. Naval War College. He earned his doctorate from the Fletcher School. He is a graduate of the U.S. Army JFK Special Warfare Center and the school's SCRE high-risk course, the Infantry Captain's course, and the Defense Language Institute in Monterey, California. In addition, Bob has written 3 books and several articles about strategy, irregular war, and Afghanistan. And in addition, he's a qualified linguist in both French and Russian. So please join me in welcoming Colonel Robert Cassidy. Thank you, Bob, for your service.
Good morning. With Veterans Day approaching, as we salute veterans past and present, I'm going to share a story about a remarkable veteran of our wars. It is a story of how one civilian soldier's leadership, valor, and instincts helped bring about key victories in a consequential war. What veteran is this story about? Well, the story is about a native of New England. He began his life as a shy young man who overcame poor health and other limitations to become a world-renowned soldier, statesman, and scholar. He was a civilian until he volunteered to serve in the Army during the Civil War at the age of 32. Prior to enlisting, he had no history in the military, but he wanted to serve his country. He studied rhetoric and taught at a small college. He trained himself to be a soldier. He distinguished himself in battle as a leader of great courage, intuition, and resilience. He led and fought with audacity. He had a strong intellect, and he exhibited a capacity for empathy. He contributed directly to victory in a number of battles with his exemplary leadership and grit. Many would argue that his tactical acumen in a key battle helped shape the course of the war. He was a hero cited for bravery in action 4 times. Who was he? He was Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain from Brewer, Maine. He was a professor at Bowdoin College before and after the Civil War. He spoke 7 languages. He wanted to be a soldier all his life, but Bowdoin would not release him to fight in the war. So in 1862, he requested a sabbatical to study in France, and when Bowdoin College granted it, Chamberlain enlisted. And then the governor of Maine commissioned him as a lieutenant colonel in the 20th Maine Volunteer Infantry Regiment. He spent a long night at the Battle of Fredericksburg, using corpses for cover in the face of withering fire. Chamberlain became a colonel and commander of the 20th Maine 1 week before Gettysburg. Chamberlain commanded the 20th Maine Infantry Regiment and a 5th Corps Brigade during the Civil War until the end of the war. Well, what did he do? Well, he's best known for the Battle of Gettysburg, where he led his regiment's defense of key terrain against an attack by John Bell Hood's Confederate division. On July 2nd, 1863, Chamberlain had orders to hold the extreme left of the Federal line at Little Round Top. The 20th Maine got in position just in time to blunt a Confederate attack that nearly collapsed and enveloped the Union flank. Exhausted and out of ammunition after repulsing repeated assaults, Chamberlain ordered what was left of the regiment to fix bayonets and attack, repulsing and defeating the threat to the line. By the time of this counterattack, the 20th Maine had fallen below 25% strength. The shock effect of this action, with the 20th Maine's vastly inferior numbers, broke the Confederate momentum, preserved the Union flank, and made victory at Gettysburg possible. The regiment's actions contributed significantly to the Army of the Potomac's win at Gettysburg, and Gettysburg was a turning point in the war and harbinger of the ultimate Northern victory. Chamberlain earned the Medal of Honor for conspicuous gallantry on Little Round Top that day. He was wounded 6 times in the war. He was severely wounded while commanding a brigade during the Second Battle of Petersburg and received a deathbed promotion from Grant to Brigadier General. He survived, though, and fought with such elan at the Battle of Five Forks that when Phil Sheridan saw him in the thick of battle, he exclaimed, "By God, that's what I want to see, general officers at the front." Chamberlain received a promotion to brevet major general for his heroism at Five Forks. And in the end, General Grant chose Chamberlain from among all the other Union officers for the honor of receiving the formal Southern surrender of arms at Appomattox Courthouse in April 1865. He surprised everyone by calling his troops to attention to salute the defeated rebel formation. What became of him after the war? Well, he served 4 times as the 32nd governor of Maine. He became the president of Bowdoin College. And when he retired from Bowdoin, he had taught every subject on the curriculum except for mathematics. Later in life, Chamberlain wrote, "In great deeds, something abides." He died in the summer of 1914 at the age of 85 due to complications from his wounds at Petersburg. Today, there are retired military officers teaching as Chamberlain Fellows at Wesleyan, Amherst, Hamilton, and several other similar colleges. In closing, here are some things to consider in saluting veterans this Veterans Day. There are a host of veterans from all of this country's wars, past and present, who have distinguished themselves in war and peace. A number of you may have already been aware of Chamberlain's impact on this momentous war. If so, consider learning the story of the other remarkable veterans to salute them in their stories this Veterans Day. If this is the first you have heard about Chamberlain, consider learning more about him. The story of this civilian, soldier, general, governor, and college president seems too incredible to be true, but it is indeed true, and something abided in Chamberlain.
Thank you very much, Colonel Cassidy. Very informative. Little history lesson for all of us. The American Legion Post 75 is hosting this meeting for veterans at the American Legion Hall on Bernie O'Rourke Drive. And I think we have a few photos of the group down there. Thank you very much. Once again, I just have to thank everyone for being here today, and I can't say enough about Jeff and the chamber staff and Vinnie Capice and the hospital for continuing to sponsor this event. And honestly, I'm looking forward to doing this live next year. God, I hope so. And at this point, as we close, I'd like to show a rendition of Echo Taps. This is pretty impressive, so be prepared.